All right, welcome race fans. I'm your host, Ryan McDowell. This is the Ultimate Racing Network V8 Supercars Round 5. This is an endurance race at Monza, the Grand Prix circuit here. Joining me in the commentating booth is Ryan Shelton. Say hello.
What's going on?
So we've gone through qualifying already, and we have some incredibly quick times. You think you can run through those for us, Ryan?
Absolutely. Starting out the top here, we have TPR Zermatt running out with a 149.969, the only one to break below the 150 mark. Behind him, or right beside him, will start N6R Gannon. There in row 1, again with this rolling start, it's going to be a lot different than what we've been seeing. So it's going to be very, very hectic. But they're going to be starting off side by side. Row 2, we're going to have GSR Roadrunner, VOR Marth. Next one back, we have LRT Breeze and F4H Diablo. J Parrot 46 and 7th with LRT Nath and 8th. 9th, we got LSR Baloo. And 10th, we have F4H Miko. Outside the 10, we have Skullsy Slash 46 and DKS Monkey 8s with NGR Zigal and one big kicker rounding up the 7th row. And Nick James 123 will start out in 15th position with PTG Metasphere starting off beside him. XPR Falcon, F4H Diablo will start after them. And then in the last row, we have Shinobi Coley along with LER Vision Thing. That will round up our 20-man race for this 90-minute race. Approximately, we'll have 49 racing laps. Like I said, we're going to have a rolling start this week due to Forza now implementing a mechanic in the game that will actually remove you if you're inactive. So you do have to do rolling starts just to make sure everybody actually starts the race correctly. They will be doing a 80-mile-an-hour roll from the last sector on. And the TPR Zermatt, who is our leader at the moment, he will actually control the start. He has the entire front straightaway to give it a go. So once we get everything started here, we're going to see him roll down to the start here. And somebody's cutting grass at Ryan's house. Let's see. So we'll wait for them to go green here in just 1 second. Once the last driver is on the front stretch, we'll see TPR Zermatt hit the gas and go. As you can see, they're giving each other enough room just to make sure they don't run into each other. And it looks like they're gone. They are green. We have 49 laps left in this race as TPR Zermatt does lead them down into this first chicane, which is known to cause lots and lots of hectic action. So far, so clean. We have a few bumping here and there, not a whole lot of action happening up front. Let's see what's happening in the rear. It looks like we all got through it cleanly. It looks like they're just trying to survive this first couple of laps. As we see N6R Zagal actually run very, very wide. He'll end up in the grass and he'll not start his race off where he wants. And it looks like they are starting to file out. We'll say, looking at the points championship, LRT Breeze is in 4th place currently. He'll want to actually move up a few places as Zermatt is leading the driver's points at the moment by only 10 points. And this is a double points race, so Breeze will not want to lose any points. He does not want to lose any points at all there in this race because, as I said, this is a double points race. So even if he finishes right behind him, he will lose a lot of position. But currently he is battling N6R Gannon here for this 3rd spot. You know, and Gannon actually he's not able to get that pass made as Breeze was able to capitalize on Gannon's mistake coming out of his second Lesmo. So he will be in third place as they start lap 2. Looking a few spots back, it looks like. So we have F4H Diablo all by himself currently, but there's a mighty pack behind him. It's just a train of cars right now. Oh, and it looks like Gannon has made another mistake coming out of the first chicane. He'll drop back to 6th place, and it looks like Nath will try to take that from him, so it looks like he'll even drop back to 7th. That was after a really good start. Yeah, he started in 2nd place, and he's already dropped back to 7th place after having a few workarounds. His car is not looking good right now. It's all over the place. So we'll need to keep a watch out and see how N6R Gannon is actually able to control his car for the rest of the race.
I can give you a quick rundown on who the current standings are. All right, leading this race is TPR Zermatt, VOR Amarth. His teammate is in 2nd at the moment. LRT Breeze has worked his way up into 3rd. GSR Roadrunner is 4th. F4H Diablo is 5th. LRT Nath also gaining on N6R Gannon there, up to 6th. N6R Gannon, as we've mentioned, has fallen back to 7th. J Parrot 46 is 8th. Skullsy Slash is 9th. DKS Monkey is 10th. Nick James 123 is 11th. PTG Mesosphere is 12th. LSR Baloo is 13th. F4H Miko is 14th. F4H Devil is 15th. One Big Kicker then is 16th. With XPR Falcon 17th, NGR Zagal in 18th, and Shinobi in 19th.
And after you ran through that, I didn't even realize it, but it looks like there may have been some contact between Miko and Baloo because they both started 9th and 10th, and now they're a little further back together, so it may have been some early contact that we may have missed between them two. Because they are not where they started. Baloo being in that Nismo liveried Nissan there. Yeah, it looks like they're in a huge battle pack looking for 12th. There's about 4 of them all together, and they're pretty much side by side. They're looking to go 3 wide into the first Lesmo.
Yeah, that's a hell of a 2 packs of double wide there. That's pretty incredible racing from all those guys. We're on board with F4H Miko right now.
And it looks like it looks like Devil made a mistake. Baloo's going to capitalize on that and see if he can't get the position going down into the Scary. But it looks like Devil's going to try using some of that Volvo power. Try getting past him. Now my preliminary testing, I only did the Ford, Holden, and Mercedes this morning, but it does look like the Ford may have a little bit more of a straight line advantage over some of the other cars.
It would appear that the actual Mercedes is the one that has the biggest straight line advantage. It's about a 3 or 4 mile an hour advantage over all the other cars when you take all the downforce off. Okay. I don't know that anybody is really running full downforce off, all of it completely off, but yeah, there's definitely a little bit of an advantage there for the Mercedes, but the downside to that Mercedes is it's so slippery at the rear, or well, relative to the other cars it is. This whole pack here going through the first chicane, still incredibly tight. These cars are like just feet from each other.
Yeah, we have, it looks to be all the way from, let's see, yeah, it looks from F4H Miko, who's in 13th position, all the way back to what looks to be F4H Devil in 17th. Actually, no, scratch that. They're going to go all the way back to 18th position with N6R Zagal with this little battle pack here.
This is what I would really hope to see. This is a longer race, so we would actually not expect to see this normally this close, but it's kind of refreshing to see it happen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these guys are definitely they're definitely going for it. Now they do know that there is a lot of laps left in this race. I mean, we're talking they're only on lap 4 currently.
Fastest lap right now goes to VOR Amarth with a 150.424. Now, I believe only one driver was able to actually get into the 49s, but I'll confirm that here in just a little bit.
Yep, that was Zermatt. He was the only one to break into the 49s during qualifying. So we may see somebody at some point break into that. They've got
look at this here.
Chances.
Mistake by Miko. On the exit of the Ascari chicane, moves him back. Oh, and somebody at the end of the, looks like contact there.
Yeah, these guys are definitely going for it. And like you said, Miko, he was in front of that group, and he made a very small mistake and lost a little bit of ground, but it looks like there was a lot of ground actually lost to what looks to be XPR Falcon, who was in the middle of all of that. And it looks like Miko has actually missed the chicane altogether. He'll lose 2 more positions back to Baloo, so F4H Miko is really not having the race he wanted.
Yeah, although you on cutting that first chicane, there's almost no benefit to doing it because those curbs will unsettle the car so badly. Yeah, as you see there, it lost him 2 positions almost in no time.
Yeah, and it looks like he's trying to gain it back here going into the first Lesmo underneath Baloo here.
It definitely looks like he's got pace to do this. Man, that is so stressful even to watch. These guys go side by side through the Lesmos.
Yeah, it looks like Devil is actually wanting to make advantage of that too, but it doesn't look like he actually did it. But again,
poor
Baloo,
exit for Miko.
Baloo is going to come back, and it looks like this is what we're going to see for most of the race. You know, somebody making a very small mistake coming out of the second chicane, and then they're remaking another mistake coming out of the second Lesmo, which just creates an easy passing point, but doesn't look like Baloo was able to capitalize on it. But so far, it's been a very, very action-filled race. Like I said, they're only about 4 laps into this race, 5 laps now. And Zermatt is still leading. He hasn't totally checked out yet, as you still have a lot of laps left. And by about halfway through it, you will start seeing these guys start getting into a lapping situation, so we'll have to deal with lap cars.
We are on board with F4H Diablo in 5th right now, but you can see that there's a train of 3 or 4 cars right behind him that would happily take 5th away from him. Again, this is double points, so there is no second race here to gobble up those remaining points. It's all down to this race, so you make a big mistake and it's going to cost.
Yeah, it looks like Gannon has actually made up some time here. He's only still in 8th place, but he was definitely a lot further behind when we checked on him earlier, so it looks like he's trying to gain some of those spots back.
Geez, bumper to bumper through Lesmo 2 there. They're going to come down the long straight on the back here.
Yeah, LRT Nath is definitely going to try getting ahead of F4H Diablo, as that's really going to help out with their team championship points, as they're second following the Vixen Racing team of Zermatt and Armand and J. Pierre at 46. So he's definitely want to get a few more positions to see if they can't get in front of them on the points.
F4H Diablo there getting a little bit aggressive on the exit of the Ascari.
They're going 3 wide going into Parabolica, right behind them.
Wow, that's impressive stuff. Something's going to have to give. They can't stay 3 wide, or are they? They just keep trying it.
It looks like Gannon.
Yep.
He made the best out of that. He just passed both of them on the inside there. And he'll take 6th position back, and he's going to try to make his way back to 5th.
What a move by Gannon there. That's pretty impressive stuff to be able to go 3 wide and actually come out 2 places ahead. Generally, you have to back off for the Parabolica there.
It looks like he made a small mistake going into the first chicane. He overshot it just a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's going to hurt him too bad, as they were already nose to tail. But also doing some preliminary testing, it does look like the tires do like to fall off after about 7 to 8 laps. They're not quite there. Actually, they're just now getting there. Currently on lap 7. But after about 7 to 8 laps, you'll start seeing the tires start to fall off, and the fuel run looks to be about 17 laps on average. So you'll start seeing them. You'll probably see a few of these guys actually short pit. Just go ahead and take their shorter stint in the first half of this race, and then take the 2 longer stints later on. Or again, you can switch that up, or do what really you ever need to make sure you're getting the best pit strategy, and also staying away from other competitors. Because while you need to be, as a racer, you want to be racing, but you also want to try to get in the best position you can. What's going to help that out is with your pit strategy and making sure you are making the fastest laps possible. And the best way to do that is to do a different pit strategy versus somebody else. So I'm sure some of these guys have practiced different fuel runs to see which one is going to help them out, make a better decision later on throughout the race, and see how long they can make their pits, their stints last.
Yeah, sometimes it's even, even if it is the same number of pit stops, like I imagine that everyone here is going to be a 3-stop strategy, but sometimes even just the lap number can make a difference of where those tires are switching on, switching off, where you're at in traffic. Sometimes it's a just a calculation thing of, are you being held up, or can you hold up your competition while your tires are falling off, and then you go into the pit while he's still on fresh tires. That's really going to hinder his race. And all that is fair game in these races. It does look like F4H Diablo is actually catching GSR Roadrunner, who's currently running 4th.
Yeah, and with that, let's see. It looks like, Gannon wasn't able to make up as much time, but again, you do have a lot of laps left in this race. We currently have about 41 laps left in the race. So he's got enough time to see if he can't gain on these few guys ahead of him, because he did start second. He was all the way back to about 8th or 9th. He'll make his way back up through the field here. He's already made his way back up to 6th. We're talking about pit strategy. Last week we had Jay Parrott, 46, actually run much longer than anybody had ever expected on a fuel run, and he was able to make it to the very end and still hold off LRT Breeze there at the very end for 5th place.
That was really impressive driving, to be honest. That I really didn't think it was going to happen, but he just stayed out there. I think a little bit of it was gamble, and a little bit of it was plan, and it just happened to go his way for that race. He must have been sputtering as he crossed the line, though.
Yeah, and I will bring our attention back up front, because it looks like we both have missed this, but Martha's actually leading this race right now. He actually took the position away from his teammate, and they are nose to tail right now for first. Looks like he's actually going to give that spot back to his teammate. Knowing where the driver's championship is right now, he's going to let him go ahead and see if he can't just run away with it. They may actually be doing a draft strategy right now, as they're both about the same speed through the corners, but they may want to draft each other through the straightaways to see if they can't pull away from LRT Breeze.
That would be the quickest way. If you can get in a draft partnership with somebody and just agree not to run into each other, you could definitely make up some time just drafting, and then one gets ahead, especially on this back straight and on the front straight. I think you could get quite a bit.
Yeah, because right now it looks like GSR Roadrunner is going to try passing LRT Breeze, and that's probably going to hold him up just a little bit while these Volvo guys really try to pull themselves away from anybody who's going to try to take away from their current constructors and drivers championship.
They're not too far away from third, fourth, fifth, honestly. And then when you look at fifth, there's a pretty steady train right behind them. So this race definitely isn't walking away as quickly as perhaps past races have.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with this track being the nature that it is. You can easily make a mistake into a braking zone here at this track because there are 3 heavy braking points at this track that are you go from your very top gear all the way down to about first or second, depending on how you have it geared. And it's very, very hard to consistently put down very, very fast laps here. And I think that's really really going to play into the hands of us as spectators, but also for these guys to have a really fun race, as it looks like Zermatt had actually made a mistake coming out of the second chicane there. And it looks like Breeze is going to try to hook on to that draft and maybe make a pass on him later here in the next coming laps.
These top guys are so consistent. So honestly, it's like the smallest of mistakes can cause him to fall back into the grasp of another driver, just because they're so on the limit. Like I said, any tiny mistake makes it almost exaggerated by the skills of the other drivers.
Yeah, when you're looking at these drivers, I mean, they are very, very fast, but they are also be very consistent. But like you were saying, I mean, just one mistake, and you saw N6R Gannon lose 3 spots. And he made one more mistake, and he was already back to 8th place after starting second. So you really don't want to make any mistakes. Even though it is an endurance race, you don't want to lose those positions.
We're going to go back to LRT Nath and see how he's doing chasing down J Parrott 46, who is currently running 7th.
Yeah, it looks like they're about holding where they've been. It looks like N6R Gannon, who's right in front of them, has made some feet on Diablo. Not as much as he would like, but it looks like he's actually starting to catch up to him. Looks like, again, he may make a pass here in the next coming laps. He did qualify second, and it was a very, very fast time. He was the lowest 50-second lap time that we had. He actually ran a 150.2, whereas the driver in front of him, being Diablo, had ran a 150.6. So he, in qualifying, was about half a second quicker.
Yeah, so this is interesting, isn't it? Because we've seen Gannon. We talked about this a little bit last time when we were at Bugatti Circuit, but N6R Gannon has actually upped his game considerably. 4/10 off of Zermatt. I think that was a bit of a magic lap for Zermatt as well, but a 150.313 puts him very, very close to Zermatt, and I think that does well for where he was coming into the championship. He certainly wasn't in the top 5, and now, at least the past 2 races, qualified second both times.
Yeah, and speaking of second place, it looks like they are starting to get very, very feisty to not be there, as they are 3 wide coming out of the first chicane. And it looks like the Volvo guys actually raced each other back into the clutches of LRT Breeze, who is now trying to get around.
Going around the outside there of Curva Grande. Looks like he has the position right now. He'll have the inside, but he'll have a more acute angle there for the chicane. Looks like he tucks back in. That's unfortunate. That was a good move by Breeze there. I don't think it's over, though.
No, it's definitely not over. They have made a run back into these Volvos here. It looks like they're trying to close that gap way back up, and it looks like LRT Breeze may want to lead this race. And he's trying everything he can to make sure that happens.
Roadrunner's right there too. I mean, a major mistake or some contact, and we could see fourth place go to first.
Yeah, these guys are running nose to tail. Oh, LRT Breeze makes a very small mistake coming through the second part of the Lesmo, and it looks like he actually may lose the position coming down into Parabolica.
He got slightly offline there on the entrance to Ascari, and made him take a little bit of a lift more than he should have for the second part of the Ascari chicane, and that is really critical because the back straight is the second longest acceleration zone.
And I thought it was not going to be good for him, but it looks like Breeze is actually going to take his pit along with Marth. They're going to take their first pit stop here on lap 12, or what was going to start lap 12, or 13, my bad. It will start lap 13. They'll both take their pit here.
So GSR Roadrunner then stays out,
along
chasing down TPR Zermatt, our race leader.
Gannon and Nath are also in the pits. So it looks like there's a lot more people coming into the pits right now.
Nath qualified 8th here, but we know from his ability to race competitively, he is stronger in the race than he is in qualifying. A 150.707 really still puts him in the running. If he can run that consistently, he can be right at the top there. I think we could see podium from him if he can kind of stitch it together. I know he's a little bit further back at the moment, but LRT Nath can definitely run a clean line in the race.
Also, to update y'all on the pits, looks like Miko, Zagal, and it was one other driver who had also all made their pit stop.
Miko, maybe?
Yeah, Miko made his pit. Zagal, and it looked like I forget who the other driver was. May have been F4H Devil.
Could have been Devil. Devil is currently running 13th.
Well, he started 18th, so I'm not sure if it was him or not.
Yeah, good call.
But there was another driver. Again, not 100% sure who it was at the moment, but we will definitely check on that as the race goes on. It may have been, let me see if this was it.
We're currently riding on board with Skullsy Slash as he makes his pit, so we're going to switch off of him as well.
So it looks like, looking currently at the drivers who have pitted, LRT Breeze is right behind Marth, who are in second and third at the moment. At the moment they pitted. And it looks like Zermatt has actually taken his pit too, so he'll be in the third, but he'll be effectively in first, as GSR Roadrunner and PTG Metasphere have not taken their pit. But
he's got cold tires, though. It looks like his teammate is struggling to stay behind him and not lose a position. Okay, yeah. It looks like Zermatt now is definitely picking up pace. It's only going to take a couple of corners with this track being as fast as it is for these tires to come up to temp. But yeah, it was close call there for a little while. LRT Breeze right there nipping at their heels.
Yeah, like I said before, LRT Breeze is going to be trying his hardest, knowing where he's at in the point standings. He will not want to lose any points this race. He only wants to gain. Because he is, like I said, they're only 10 points behind, apart from each other, being Zermatt and Breeze. So if Breeze can just get ahead of him, he will be first in points. But if he doesn't get ahead of him, it's going to multiply exponentially going into the next race. Let's see where the pit stops start again.
Marth is really close. He's basically hooked up on his bumper here into Parabolica.
So Roadrunner has pitted along with his teammate PTG Metasphere, so they'll both be pitting. But Roadrunner was in 4th when they started to pit. He was in 4th position, but it looks like we'll see where he pops out here again as he just exits, and he will not be able to make any kind of positions up. It actually looks like he lost a lot of time there on pit road, so he's going to want to grab all that back again because he was right there behind him when they first started pitting.
Yeah, it looks like he lost roughly 2 seconds on track, which is kind of surprising because you can just fly into the pits here.
And it looks like he actually may have made that on track. He may have made a mistake into one of the corners, but like we were talking about before, you make one mistake and it multiplies at this track because of how long the straightaways are. It looks like N6R Gannon has actually made his way into 5th place, so he did make his way around Diablo. So Gannon is making time. And he's making a lot of it in bunches, as we see him here on lap 15 of 49 scheduled laps. So if we run through the field just real quick, I think everybody is pitted by now. Looks like first we have Zermatt with their Marth following him, and Breeze. They're all in that front battle pack. GSR Roadrunner, who just came out of the pits, is in 4th, a few seconds behind. And then behind him we've got N6R Gannon with F4H Diablo. Again, a very steady gap between them two. LRT Nath, JPR at 46, Skullsy / 46, and then DKS Monkey Age will actually round up the top 10. But it does look like, since I was actually calling those out, LRT Breeze is actually able to make it around Amarth. It looks like Amarth actually made a mistake coming out of the Ascari chicane, allowing LRT Breeze to make a very, very quick pass of him going down that back stretch. So he's going to look to make up the rest of that time on Zermatt here.
It's still very, very close, so really if Breeze makes another wide Ascari chicane, we could see Amarth right back into his 2nd place position, though.
Yeah, I really don't think that I really don't think at this point Breeze wants to lose any positions. So he's going to make sure consistency comes first, and then risk versus reward will come second for him.
Yeah, absolutely, because we're talking about 2nd place there. That's worth 170 points this week. That's definitely valuable to be here for this endurance race and collect those double points.
But again, if Zermatt finishes first, he'll get 200 points. So
yeah, absolutely.
He'll lose 30 points versus the regular 15 that he normally would lose. So he would definitely not want to end up with that. Oh, he does make a huge mistake coming out of Ascari chicane, which will allow Amarth right back in front of him.
Yeah, he's got to be careful with taking that, with taking too much of that curbing there. I mean, you can get on the inside, you can get pretty aggressive, but it definitely can pop the car up in the air, just like we saw. A little bit wide here from Amarth, but I don't think it's going to matter. It's all paved now at the Parabolica. But yeah, for Breeze there, a little bit popped up in the air from that curbing at the exit of the Ascari chicane, and it sent him wide, which just allowed Amarth to put the power down so much earlier and get a run on him into Parabolica. He made that pass look easy.
Well, yeah, and LRT Breeze made it easy for him too. But they are still battling for this first, second, and third. They're just trying to figure out who's going to take what spot on the podium right now. But if Breeze has, or if GSR Roadrunner has anything to say about it, it's going to change. And Gannon, with his speed, it's definitely not looking good for anybody up front here later on. But it looks like Amarth had made another mistake coming out of the first Lesmo. This is just oh, they make huge contact into the wall. Both of them go. Oh no, that's going to make a very, very bad occasion for both of these guys.
Hopefully they've picked up no damage there.
Looking back on Breeze's stream, which is a little delayed, it just looks like Amarth just didn't have enough room. It looks like very much a racing incident between both of them.
That's unfortunate, but sometimes that happens. It does bunch up the field here. It could make this a little bit more exciting for who gets on the podium, because this is now a 3-man race with Gannon right in the mix.
Yeah, and like I said, one very, very small mistake will multiply here at this track, because that was right on the very start of a very, very long straightaway going into the Ascari chicane. And
They must not have picked up damage, because both of them stay out here.
Yeah, it looked like both of them actually hit a tire barrier. So it's going to help them out, as you don't receive any damage from those. But in the end, it does look like LRT Breeze was able to complete the pass, and Amarth will be in 5th place at the moment. But they have a lot of track in between them and 1st and 2nd.
So yeah, that's GSR Roadrunner then in 2nd, LRT Breeze in 3rd, N6R Gannon in 4th, and VOR Amarth in 5th.
It looks like Breeze is going to have to restart that.
Charge to the front.
Yeah, exactly. Very much.
All right, let's see if we can't find another good battle here, because we know the one at the front is pretty good. I know LRT Nath is trying to make his way up on Diablo, but surely we've got some other good battles here. We're going to go back and ride on with PTG Mesosphere, which is Roadrunner's teammate. Just take a peek and see if we can see anybody around him.
It does look like Shinobi is getting lapped by Skullsy Slash and DK Monkey, and they are actually racing for 9th place currently, and they are right with each other. Looks like there's more than a few cars together right there with them. Oh, and yeah, it looks like DKS Monkey is definitely going to try making this pass happen sooner than later. He's pushing very, very hard.
He peeked around the outside there, or the inside rather, down into turn 1. Oh, a bit wide there for Skullsy Slash. This is mean DKS Monkey's going to go around the outside for Curva Grande. Can he do it? Currently side by side as they go through Curva Grande.
Yeah, they're
I think he's going to have it, though. Currently ahead in the position. He's going to be a little bit tighter. Can he outbrake him?
It looks like he does.
Gets the job done, yes.
Looks like Skullsy Slash knew better than to race him through there. So that will be a completed pass from DKS Monkey.
That was a good move by DKS Monkey, seizing opportunity. You know, mistakes happen, and you got to be able to be right there to capitalize on it. Looks like he's going to try and go down the inside, though. Skullsy Slash doesn't work at the second Lesmo. He's going to stay in close tow here to see if he can make this position back up. But DKS Monkey has some good pace here. He's been showing us race over race that he's there at the top pretty much all the time. This guy's going to be in the top lobby.
Yeah, and while he may not have he may not have a winning pace, you can definitely tell that he is very racy week in and week out, and he wants to make up more places than where he started. Because currently, he has done that. He started in 12th position, and he's currently in 9th place. So he will look to continue making up spots. Now he does have a little bit of ways until he gets to Jay Parrott on track, but we'll see if he can't make that up later on. If you go a little bit further back, it looks like Looks like PTG Metasphere is actually in battle also here for what looks to be about 12th place with XPR Falcon and F4H Miko as they're pretty much nose to tail right now. There's a little bit of a gap in between them, about half a second in between all three of them, but it does look like a pass will be made here soon by XPR Falcon as he is trying to use a lot of the track and then a little bit more. But it looks like those inside sausages have messed that run up. And it looks like he's actually fallen back to Miko a lot further than he's made up on Metasphere. Metasphere's being GSR Roadrunners teammate.
Yep. Yeah, I think that first chicane cutting that really did not pay off for him there. I mean, you know, you see him just moving back, and now he's kind of struggling to get pace again. It looks like he makes another mistake at the second Lesmo, and Miko gets around.
Yeah, that's going to allow Miko to fall to actually gain up to 13th position. Now, he did start in 10th. He wants to make up a lot more places, but there's a lot of track in between him and 10th place. And with us having no safety cars, it's he's going to have to drive very, very well to get back up there, as they are currently starting their 22nd lap, or 21st lap.
So we're going to see another round of pits here, probably in... What lap did you say it was? 22nd?
Yeah,
so we're going to see him in probably 2 to 4 laps?
Yeah, they're on 21 right now. Yeah, so you'll see them. You'll see them start pits here. It may be 6 to 8 laps, more or less, because like I said, you'll have your one short stint, and then you'll have your 2 longer stints. So I think some of them will actually wait to come into the pits here sooner than later, or a little bit later, because if you pit now, then that means you'll have to pit 2 more times, as you'll have about 20 some odd laps left in the race. And like I said earlier, preliminary gas mileage looked to be about 17 laps on average, so some of these guys may be able to make it about 20 laps if you can really push it, as it looks like Falcon is actually going to try making up position, and they're going through the second Lesmos side by side between Miko and Falcon here. As Miko has dropped back down to 14th position, Falcon was able to regain that spot back from him from last lap, but Miko is looking very racy here going into the Scary chicane. They're going to go side by side. Looks like they are still side by side going into the Scary chicane, which is very, very difficult. And XPR Falcon he's not going to try losing that spot, but he will make a small mistake, actually a very large mistake, coming through to the Scary chicane, which is going to allow Miko to get back into 13th position.
Undoes all of that hard work.
And not only that, it allows LSR Baloo here, this is his first time being in the top lobby, and he will actually
running 15th.
Yeah, and he'll start to make up some more ground on these guys in front of him. He actually started in 9th position, so he's not had the race that he's wanted, being in 15th position, but I'm sure he's going to try to make the most of it. Well, let's see if we...
XPR Falcon. Oh man, a big mistake there from Miko that could allow Falcon to close right up as they go through Curva Grande. Here, I don't think it's going to be enough. It'll just allow him to be really, really close.
Yeah, and just looking back up to the front, there's not really much that has changed. Zermatt has got a bit of a lead on second place, being GSR Roadrunner, but LRT Breeze is starting to make some ground on Roadrunner here. Not a whole lot, but he's making some. With N6R Gannon losing a little bit, he's currently in 4th position.
Looks like LSR Baloo is closing right up on this pack. You know, their back and forth is costing them time, and every time they make these small mistakes, Baloo just gets closer and closer. It looks like he's closing right up on the back of XPR Falcon. Is Baloo going to make a... he peeks around the outside. It looks like he's going to try and go too wide inside down into Parabolica. I think he's a bit too far back to actually make that work. Yes, he slots right back in behind XPR Falcon, but definitely keeping the pressure on, letting XPR Falcon know that if he makes a mistake, he's going to be right there to take it.
Yeah, and to kind of give you an idea between the speed difference between them two, it looks like LSR Blue has just kind of dropped out currently to take his pit stop, do a short stop, maybe undercut him to try to get that position back, because he was about half a second faster than XPR Falcon in qualifying, so he'll probably try to use that to his advantage. Maybe wait, see if XPR Falcon comes right in to see if he can't grab some new tires also to try to undercut his undercut.
We're going to go back and take a look at XPR Falcon's teammate here, One Big Kicker. He is currently chasing down F4H Devil. They're fairly close here coming into the second Lesmo. Currently 46 minutes into this race.
Yeah, if you would have told me 23 laps in and we'd still have,
this close racing?
Yeah. I probably would have laughed at you, considering, taking a look at some of our other races, they kind of get a little bit spread out, and, there's not that much, but, I mean, we still have lots of storylines developing currently.
Yeah, this race is really only about half over. What lap do you see we're on?
We are currently working lap 24.
So just about half over. We've got a little bit more. But this is great that these guys are still in battles up and down the field here. Currently, again, we're watching One Big Kicker try and take down F4H Devil. It's not much speed advantage between the... there's a little bit for that Ford of One Big Kicker over the Volvo of F4H Devil, but I don't know that it's that material. It's about a mile and a half difference between the two. Considering they use the same, if they would use the same tune, but maybe they've taken off a little bit more from that Volvo to keep it competitive. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll definitely be able to figure that out, because it looks like One Big Kicker is actually going to try making a pass here very, very soon. He looks pretty racy.
Yeah, he keeps peeking out the sides, letting F4H Devil know that, hey, I'm right here. Why don't you try and go a little bit faster, see if you can't force a mistake.
Yeah, it looks like right now they're really the only ones, at this part of the track, but I believe they've both made a pit stop or so. They've obviously made one. It's a matter if they've made the second one or not. But it looks like Breeze is actually starting to run very, very low on gas.
Big mistake here from F4H Devil. This could see One Big Kicker get around. Oh no, One Big Kicker also made a mistake. It's actually a bigger mistake than F4H Devil did. So this has seen this race sort of calm down for right now. We're going to pick up a different battle then. LSR Baloo then 17th after his pit stop.
Now, I believe N6R Gannon has made his pit stop also, as he is back into 9th place right now. Yeah, so he'll make his pit. It looks like J Parrott 46 has also made a pit stop. Yeah, he's currently only about 3% on tires, so it looks like he actually made a pit stop about a lap ago.
Right now on board with Gannon. We'll see how he does. He's coming into the Ascari chicane right now. Runs a pretty clean line through here, honestly. A little bit aggressive on the exit, taking a bit of that curbing, but there is like a sweet spot there. If you can kind of load the suspension so that the outside tire has the weight, that curbing won't pop you up in the air. If you do it too late, you'll just get ruined.
Yeah, and that's one of the hard parts about this. About the about this kind of racing is running those curbs. You want to make sure to have a car that runs those curbs really well, but also is able to go really well without hitting the curbs.
Right, because if you've set it up to hit the curbs, that means that there's some sacrifice. It looks like Gannon is now closed up on one of the LRTs.
He's actually, LRT Breeze actually just took his pit. So he'll be shown in 6th place currently here on lap 27.
A little bit past the halfway mark then. This race has still got plenty of action going. Again, this race is for the UltimateRacingNetwork.com. This is the V8 Supercars Series 2015. This is round 5 at Monza. If you do like the racing you see here, head over to the UltimateRacingNetwork.com, get signed up, and you can join races like these. This is one of our official series. We have a couple others during the week. We have the Masters Series, and coming up in December, we have the GT3 series that looks like it's going to be fairly popular. We also have a one-off endurance event, multi-class, coming up at the end of November. That's going to be the N12 at the Nürburgring, the 24 layout rather. Should be pretty exciting. There's also some community series. Our strong community is part of what makes turns so exciting. We've got some community series over there right now, like the Clio Cup, headed up by F4H Motorsport. I know personally of about 3 or 4 other series that are in development right now, probably going to see them online before the end of the year. And, very, very close there between Gannon and Breeze as they break into the first corner. A little bit of an outbraking maneuver by Gannon to try and close the gap. Nearly makes contact there. Anyway, getting back to the Ultimate Racing Network, definitely head over there and get signed up. We love to see new drivers out there, and if you've got an idea for a series, run it on the site. The staff would be happy to support you with social media or timing documents, whatever you need. But definitely do go check that out. We are also over on Twitter at Turn Media, and we're also on Facebook, Turn Media 1.
Getting back onto the on-track action, Zermatt has made his second pit stop. GSR Roadrunner is still completing laps. Probably going to make another pit stop here soon. He's probably going to try to run his gas tank completely dry to get the best tire he can coming into this last bit of the race, as they are currently working lap 27, actually 28. Roadrunner will be on lap 28 here of 49, so it looks like we're about 20 laps left to go.
Because of the delta, this actually means that DKS Monkey is running second at the moment, as Monkey takes his pit. Nick James also heads into the pits. This will be exciting to see where this is at in another 10 or 15 minutes. We should start seeing a formulation of what the end of this race is going to look like.
Yeah, because like I said, this should, for some of these guys, this will probably be, like Roadrunner is probably going to try to stretch his fuel out as much as he can, see if he can't make just a two-stop race. Looks like some of these other guys may be able to just, or may have to do a third stop. But it looks like Roadrunner is actually going to try playing that pit strategy and try to see if he can't stretch this out just enough to where he can make just a two-stop race. Like I said, my preliminary results, with a very base tune with no kind of fuel saving and like 7 or 8 laps, it looked like about 17 laps is going to be the average on just about all the cars. So we'll see how much further Roadrunner can go without having to pit.
LRT Nath trying to get around lap traffic here.
And as I say that, Roadrunner is currently in the pits, and that will be on lap 29. So like I said, he'll actually have 21 laps to see if he can't make it to the very end of the race. And with this race, you never know what happens with this series.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with 2 wild card races like these Enduros. GSR Roadrunner currently coming out of the pits. TPR Zermatt rather goes right by into the lead. Is he going to maintain second, though? It looks like he is.
But it does look like overall Breeze has made up a little bit of time on Zermatt. Not a whole lot, but Breeze also just did run his fastest lap of the race.
Current fastest lap goes to GSR Roadrunner, who's currently running second. He has a 150.396, which is really just about, well, it is actually 0.04 of a second quicker than TPR Zermatt, our current race leader. Ryan, you have our current lap count. We're currently 57 minutes into this race.
Yeah, they're currently working lap 29, about to start lap 30 once Zermatt gets across the line, as they are now on the backstretch. So it looks like they're going to be on lap, actually scratch that, they will be on lap 31. But looking back into the second split, just real quick, it looks like Midland Zeta is actually leading that race, and they're currently on lap 20.
So the current running order for this race: TPR Zermatt leads this race, GSR Roadrunner is second, LRT Breeze is third, N6R Gannon is fourth, VOR Amarth is fifth, F4H Diablo is sixth, LRT Nath seventh, J Parrot 46 is eighth, DKS Monkey is ninth, Skullsy Slash is 10th, Nick James 123 is 11th, F4H Miko just ahead of PTG Mesosphere, that's 12th and 13th, LSR Baloo is 14th, XPR Falcon is 15th, F4H Devil 16th, One Big Kicker is 17th, NGR Zagal is 18th then, and Shinobi is 19th.
Shinobi is a lap down also. It looks like these guys are definitely racing really hard out there. I mean, they're trying to make what little positions they have left to make. As they are starting to close up, it looks like VOR Marth has actually made a little bit of time here on LRT Nath after N6R Gannon. after having a few mistakes there earlier in the race that set them back, but they are starting to close back up on each other. As by the end of it, it looks like they may have a battle back here, and it looks like if they can all draft together and stick together, it could be for second place, as they're not too far behind GSR Roadrunner, who looks like he has just not had the best. It seems like every time he goes into the pits, he loses more time than he gains.
Yeah, that's definitely not working out for him. He definitely has the pace, but he hasn't had luck this season. With the Hockenheim comes to mind, the massive collision. Even at the last race even was unfortunate for Roadrunner.
Yeah, and also looking at that second race at Long Beach, where he made up a few positions in the first part of it, but then got caught up in an early race incident with Zermatt, causing him to lose a lot of positions as he hit the pit wall head on.
Yeah, just really never recovered from that. So luck not on his side, but he's still right there battling it out, trying to regain positions. This race important more than ever, as we talked about. This is a double points race. The race leader here gets 200 points as opposed to 100 points.
And it looks like currently they're the further you go back, the little more spread out they are. It looks like overall they're, especially here up front, they're trying to fight for every single half a second they can find, as they are starting to close up on each other here from second to fifth.
Look back through the pack a little bit, see if we have anybody that is getting ready to make a battle happen. Nick James not that far off from Skullsy Slash. We just crossed the 1 hour mark here. Yeah, like you said, the big gaps are starting to form now.
But up front, they're starting to look like they're closing in on each other.
XPR Falcon is actually still reasonably close to PTG Mesosphere.
Yeah, and it looks like him and F4H Devil may get into a battle here in a second.
Ah, we just lost our timing car.
Do they inactivity?
Yep.
Yep. Good old Forza. But we do have our race going on. Because it looks like these guys up front are really starting to push as hard as they can. But it looks like here up front we do have TPR Zermatt still leading this race. He's starting to look like he's actually starting to grow his lead just a little bit. Lap after lap, it looks like he's trying to make the most of it he can. As these guys are running consistent mid 150s overall here on the start of lap 33. We run through the field just real quick. We'll have TPR Zermatt in first place by a hefty margin. Next up would be GSR Roadrunner in second, LRT Breeze, N6R Ganon, VOR Marth, F4H Diablo, LRT Nath, JPR at 46, DKS Monkey, Skolzy Slash 46, Nick James 123, F4H Miko, XPR Falcon, Shinobi. It will be one big kicker, and then we start the lapped down cars. Actually, no. Actually, we have LSR Blue and PTG Metasphere. It looks like Shinobi's actually has moved off to the side here to allow for the other guys, as he is now a couple laps down. So it looks like
Actually,
these drivers are...
It looks like we may have actually lost Shinobi.
He's on my list. He may have dropped out himself because he pulled off to the side at Parabolica. I guess he may have dropped out knowing that he was 2 laps down.
It could be. Has completed enough laps to be classified in Lobby A.
Which was unfortunate for Skolzy Slash last week, as he was not able to even start the second race, and he was actually unable to be classified for that. And he made a lot of ground, or he lost a lot of ground in the Drivers' Championship. And it looks like we have a few guys side by side back here. Is N6R Zagal being lapped.
Yeah, that is what that looks like. Makes things look a little tighter. I mean, but it is part of the racing, so they've got to be able to navigate themselves around.
Marth is actually trying to make a pass here on Ganon for what looks to be 5th place. And he will take... Yep. He'll make the pass, and then it looks like Ganon's going to try the over-under on him. Zagal may be a nice teammate and move out of the way here.
Looks like Ganon did recover that position, but it's going to be very, very close down into the first turn.
And they are currently on lap 35 as they are going side by side through here. Oh, makes a small
little bit
mistake.
of a bump, yeah. There's going to be no damage from that. That bump was relatively minor, but yeah, it looked like N6R Ganon just got a little bit upset from that, from the curbing there on the exit of turn 1 from that first chicane, and we see a Marth just give him a tap just at the back because of the relative speed differences, and really that makes a Marth really the loser in that. Had he been a little bit wider, I mean, he cannot predict that stuff to happen, but had he been just a little bit wider, that probably would have been an overtake possibility.
Yeah, because he would have been on the inside part going down through Curva Grande, which would have helped him out a lot going into that second chicane. As you see him coming through here, Scary, it looks like there's a bit of a gap that's recreated here between them. So it looks like overall, it looks like this race is starting to settle in. They currently have 36 laps in the book. So it looks like we may see one more pit start to happen here just a little bit, as they will have 15 laps remaining, as this is a 49 scheduled lap race. Looks like currently we do have a few of them just kind of running very close to each other. And like we said earlier in the race, one very small mistake will cause a pass to happen, as it looks like VOR Marth has made more of a mistake than he should have running behind N6R Gannon. Coming out of that second chicane, it looks like he just kind of overran it. And while it may not look like a huge thing, it is not really going to be much for him later on, as that sand trap really hurts you more than it helps you.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to get a tire out there that'll slow you right down. That's one of the things. This is a momentum track, so if you can't keep your momentum up, you'll get passed in a heartbeat, and that sand definitely hurts. A bit of a cut there from Amarth as he comes out of the end of the Ascari there.
So it looks like GSR Roadrunner has made another pit.
Currently making a pass on DKS Monkey into turn 1 right now. They're side by side.
So it looks like he's made his third and final pit stop. So it looks like he may have done the 2 long stints followed by a very short stint here at the very end to see if he can't undercut LRT Breeze to make himself give himself a little bit of room there for the end. But he looks like he may have fallen back just a little bit further than he wanted to.
DKS Monkey here, not really giving up the toe. He's trying to stay as close as he possibly can to Roadrunner, and I think that's smart on his part. If you can stay close to him, you're going to march right through the field as well. Maybe even learn a little bit, a little trick here or there to try and improve his own time.
Yeah,
he's remarkably staying close. Sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
While he wasn't really racing with anybody currently, I'm sure he's going to want to gain a few seconds here and there to maybe help his chances out later on in the race. And it does look like N6R Gannon also took a pit.
Just not nearly. DKS Monkey is quite skilled, but not quite as smooth through the Ascari chicane on that run. Pushed him a little bit wide in the middle part of that chicane, and that he probably is just barely hanging on to the draft if he hasn't already lost it.
Yeah, because again, this game, the drafting isn't as prevalent as it is in most other racing games. It seems to be a little bit weaker, especially here on Monza, where you'll definitely be able to feel it going into some of these corners. But it just doesn't seem like it's as strong. You really have to be right behind them to make it any kind of advantage on the draft.
We can now see what appears to be, is that Zermatt? Yes. Just ahead of Roadrunner is Zermatt running in 4th after his pit.
Yeah, and that will put Breeze out front here on his lap 38.
That also puts, he's going to fall back because of the pit stops, but that puts LRT Nath up into 3rd at the moment.
Yeah. And again, like I said, there's still the possibility if somebody can, put a run together again, stretching out that fuel mileage as much as they can to see if they can't maybe make this a 2-stop and help their chances out at making a better finish.
Ryan, what lap do you have us at right now?
LRT Breeze is currently started lap 39.
39. So we're probably at the very final stages, and in the next lap or two, we'll probably see whether anybody is truly done pitting and is going to stay out for a 2-stop versus a 3-stop.
Yeah, because we do have 11 laps left in this, as it looks like DKS Monkey will make his pit also. Nath will make his pit.
Breeze just came out. That moves Roadrunner up to 3rd. That's LRT Breeze in 4th. N6R Ganon is 5th. That means F4H Diablo is currently leading.
Yep, and it does look like, again, that pit stop is really not helping out GSR Roadrunner, as he has lost a little bit more on Breeze. But I'm sure Breeze is going to want to make that up here in this last little stint, as they have 11 laps remaining in this race. He's going to want to, again, going back to those points earlier in the race where he had that very small mistake with VOR Marth, has really hurt his chances on making a 2nd place or even a 1st place finish. As you can see, it's multiplied over the entirety of this race. It is very hard to catch up after you have lost that position on track. Because these cars are just not easy to make a whole lot of ground, especially with no safety car. It's really hard to make any kind of huge gains on somebody after making a mistake like that. Let's take a...
Yeah, definitely. So TPR Zermatt now back in the lead. GSR Roadrunner is 2nd. Really not that far off. I'm going to call it about a 3 or a 4 second gap at the moment. But it is something that is still attainable. Like, he really only needs to gain another 10th or 2 per lap, and he could really be right back in it. I guess it would have to be about a 3rd or 3/10 or so per lap, and he could make it. LRT Breeze is 3rd, N6R Ganon is 4th, VOR Marth is still 5th. Let's take a look at that battle. Still right on the heels of N6R Ganon. Good for Ganon in this race. He has also been stricken with a bit of bad luck in some races, but currently running 4th. That's pretty damn good points for N6R Ganon. And if he can move up and capitalize on perhaps a mistake from Breeze, podium here would be huge points for both their team and his run in the Drivers' Championship. Oh man, VOR Marth is closing right up here on the back straight. He's definitely in the tow right now. Too far back to make a move into the Parabolica, but it looks like he's closed right up on the exit. Just a couple of feet off the back of N6R Ganon. He may have a run here down into turn 1. I know I would if I had the chance.
I'm actually getting on to this battle, as it looks like he was not able to close that gap up. It looks like the Volvos are just a little bit slower going down the straightaway.
Yeah, that straight line advantage of the Mercedes, like I said, it is about a 3 or 4 mile an hour advantage for those Mercedes if they're running similar downforce.
Knowing these guys, they'll definitely want to make the most of their vehicle. So it looks like the Mercedes may run a little bit more downforce to help out with the turning, and the Volvo may run a little bit less downforce to help out with that straight line speed, which could even it out a little bit more. It looks like these two have kind of settled their differences for now. But one thing I will like to bring your attention to, as it looks like XPR Falcon has made his pit. I thought they were racing together, DKS and XPR Falcon. They were right next to each other, but it looks like XPR Falcon just made his pit to bring him further back into the pack.
Looks like both VOR Marth and N6R Gannon make a mistake on the exit of the Ascari chicane. So really no net gain there. They both go wide. TPR Zermatt rather comfortably leading this race.
Now, I will say LRT Breeze has made up a lot of ground in the past couple of laps, but he's just not going to have the time to make that up, as he's actually gained about 500 feet in about the past 5 or 6 laps, but he's still over 1,000 feet when coming down to the start-finish line.
You know, I said TPR Zermatt had a comfortable lead here, but if you take a look at it, it's down to about 2 seconds now.
Yeah, GSR Roadrunner has actually made up a lot of room. It looks like Zermatt actually made a very, very large mistake, which brought his lead down a lot, because GSR Roadrunners actually ran away from Breeze just a little bit, and this could actually end up being something.
Man, he is right on him here, too, as they get ready to go, or they just exit the second Lesmo there.
And they'll have 8 laps remaining currently. So there could be something in this for Roadrunner. He could very well take this away from him. Zermatt was our pole sitter, but GSR Roadrunner started in 3rd.
TPR Zermatt was our pole sitter. Okay. He could have the race pace here. We've seen some pretty aggressive driving from him, and if not for some of the mistakes he's made in past races, he'd probably be much higher up the standings than he is. Currently coming out of the Parabolica, it's still Zermatt over GSR Roadrunner, but Roadrunner definitely in tow here.
And they will have 7 laps remaining in this race.
They've got what looks like F4H Devil to get around here in the first chicane.
It looks like he may just redress this, knowing that these guys are racing for more than just a position. There's a lot on the line for that one position. And what could happen is Breeze is probably hoping that GSR Roadrunner actually catches him, because what could happen is he could make a very, very large mistake and take both of them out, allowing Breeze to go away with this win. So this could be... it
looks like a big mistake from XPR Falcon, or is that one big kicker?
I believe that's Falcon redressing the lap to them.
Man, this is close stuff. How many laps to go, Ryan?
We have 7 laps remaining in this race, or 6.5 now, as they're working it. And GSR Roadrunner is very, very close. He is very much within striking distance, as he makes a very, very small mistake through through the Ascari chicane, but it is going to compound as we come on here to the straightaway, and that could very much ruin his chances at taking this win. But you can best believe that he is going to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So he runs a little wide through the Parabolica, but you do have a few lines you can take on this turn, as there's about 3 or 4 different ways you can take that turn and still be fast.
These lap times have got to be... It looks like Zermatt has just pulled out a little bit from Roadrunner.
Yeah,
But
and that was
really,
the
they're still very, very close. So I would imagine that these lap times are nearly identical.
yeah. And what this has actually done is it's allowed LRT Breeze to start to make a charge while he doesn't have the laps. He only has 6 laps to go in this. He'll still be looking to make the most out of it.
VOR Marth still trying to take down N6R Ganon. VOR Marth currently running 5th. N6R Ganon is 4th.
Now the problem that's going to be with Breeze is passing some of these lapped cars. That's going to be the biggest problem because it looks like some of these guys aren't going to allow him to go through as easy as they did the leaders, only because they were racing with somebody. I don't think these lap cars are going to make it as easy. They'll probably stick to the racing line and make Breeze run a separate line. But GSR Roadrunner has made up some ground on Zermatt this lap. Again, with 5.5 laps to go, once they cross the line, they'll have 5 laps remaining in this race. So this is going to allow GSR Roadrunner, as he takes his normal line where he does the very early apex and then kind of double apexes it. He actually enters the corner much more to the inside than Zermatt, and he has made up a little bit of ground on him. And they will have 5 laps remaining in this race, as this looks like it's going to come down to the wire after almost 45 laps of racing is what they're currently on, 45 laps. We're still this close for the first place.
You know, these 2 lap down cars, both F4H Devil and XPR Falcon, could cause a change of position further back, because LRT Breeze has gotten around them now, but you're looking at VOR Marth and N6R Ganon that still need to get around these 2 cars. And you know, they were definitely pretty courteous to the front. I'm curious to see how eager they're going to be to give up more positions to, you know, let's say 4th and 5th.
And they are currently racing for position for themselves, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's where the that's where it comes into play. I think what's going to happen is F4H Devil, who is currently in the head of that battle, I think he'll wait to see what the other driver does. And then
Jeez, they're actually going side by side right now into the Ascari chicane that's normally a single file. This is really holding up VOR Marth and N6R Ganon. Ganon goes really wide. VOR Marth makes up the difference here. The lap traffic has made the difference here. VOR Marth is still behind F4H Devil, but it's one big kicker that has somewhat caused an issue here that has split the race here for these two. That's unfortunate that it has, you know, made that contact, but they just happened to catch him right at the Ascari chicane. Looks like F4H Devil then is getting out of the way to do an early break into turn 1. He is currently splitting the battle for VOR Marth and the chance for N6R Ganon to charge back.
Doesn't look the battle up front has changed too much. It does look like GSR Roadrunner is very, very slowly catching them with 4 laps remaining here in the race. It does look like GSR Roadrunner is going to try to make a pass here very soon, as he's actually started to close up the gap a little bit. 3.5 laps of racing remain here for these front guys.
They just exited the Ascari chicane, getting ready to enter the Parabolica here. This has been about the closest it's been for GSR Roadrunner to the front all race.
Let's see if he can kind of keep his head cool. Wasn't able to do it earlier when he made that mistake through the Ascari chicane. But one quick thing to remind about those lap cars is they do have the time after the race to continue racing. So even though the race will be finished, they will actually still be able to complete 59 laps of racing. So that battle through XBR, Falcon, and F4H Devil will not be over once the race is over. But these guys up front are going as hard as they possibly can. There are 3 laps remaining in this race, and they want to absolutely win this race. As you can tell through both of the ways they're driving, they're both driving on the very, very edge of their car. As it looks like, taking a look at their telemetry just real quick, GSR Roadrunner has about 28% front tire and 25% on the rears. And it looks like
he's real close to the cliff then. Because right about 30% is when these tires start just falling off pretty rapidly on what kind of grip you get from them. Staying tidy, GSR Roadrunner close again on the exit of the Ascari chicane. They're, like I said, about even here between the Ford and the Volvo. Advantage probably Ford for straight line speed. He's just got to get a very good exit. You can see the car twitching around just a little bit as Roadrunner tries to put the power down. Is he close enough this time to use that draft to just suck right up to him on turn 1 here?
Yeah, and that little squiggly rear end has been GSR's car for the past couple of laps. After watching it, I've been watching this battle very closely for about the past 6 or 7 laps, but they are not wanting to give up any kind of spot at all. But Zermatt is definitely trying to take as much as he can from GSR Roadrunner, but I really don't think Roadrunner is going to let that happen. They've got 2 laps of racing remaining, and Zagal will let them pass through.
It was a very courteous pass there. They don't really need to get entirely off the track like that, but with a battle this close, I wouldn't want to risk it either.
Because it looks like GSR Roadrunner is able to make the positions through the twisty parts is what it looks like, and then coming down that front stretch is where, or Parabolica is where Roadrunner has the biggest loss. It looks like Parabolica, he loses just a little too much coming through it. But they are currently 1.5 laps left in this race. So next time by will be the final lap around this race track, as we'll see Roadrunner try to make he'll make some kind of move as he really gets up underneath Zermatt there in the final corner here, Parabolica. And he's going to try his absolute hardest to get around him. He's been trying to do it for the past, it looks to be about the last 10 laps.
Yeah, this is about 25 feet between the two of them right now.
And this is the closest that GSR Roadrunner has been all race to Zermatt.
Bumper to bumper here on the exit of the first chicane. It's going to be tight through Curva Grande. Zermatt gets positive traction on the exit. So he's taking off quite well, pulling away just a little bit as they prepare to enter the second chicane. They're going to be both hard on the brakes here, early turn in, cutting it just a bit there. Both of them so close now.
Yeah, and GSR Roadrunner is going to try to make the most of these two Lesmos in the Ascari chicane and see if he can't just make one final pass into the Parabolica. Like I said, his line through the Parabolica is much more tight going into it. But it looks like this is going to come very much down to the wire.
Getting ready to enter the Ascari chicane right now.
Looks like there's been a gap created just a little bit, but one very small mistake through Ascari, and that's going to end either one of the races. It looks like they both came through there cleanly.
Getting ready to head into the Parabolica. It doesn't look like it's as close as it has been last lap, but still incredibly close. A little bit of a mistake here could cost it. This is the final corner. I think it is going to be TPR Zermatt taking the win here.
And he will
Congrats to both of these drivers.
So Zermatt will win, and he will take his first endurance race win here in the final parts of this race. Very, very exciting finish for them here. But we still do have racing happening on track, as it looks like a few of these guys are still pretty close to each other, especially it being V8SC Devil and XPR Falcon. They were close together. I'm not sure what happened with them. As they are still right next to each other. So they still have one more lap to go, because like I said, even though the race is finished for the top guys, they still finish their race. They still will finish their race here.
Right, so current finishing order is TPR Zermatt first, GSR Roadrunner is second, very, very close there. LRT Breeze does get the last step on the podium. N6R Gannon does manage to get back around VOR Marth. Not sure if there was a mistake made there or what, but VOR Marth will then take fifth. F4H Diablo is sixth. J Parrot 46 is seventh.
And kind of keep you up on that. We had J Parrot in 46 and 7th, LRT Nath 8th, DKS Monkey in 9th. Nick James will round out the 10. Skullsy Slash will be in 11th. F4H Miko will be in 12th. PTG Metasphere in 13th. And it looks like XPR Falcon will end up 14th with F4H Devil in 15th. It doesn't look like he was able to make anything of that. And with our timing car gone, it's very, very hard to figure out where we're at. It does look like actually one big kicker will be in 16th with F4H Devil in 17th, and NGR Zagal will be in 18th. He'll finish up his last lap here, 2 laps down. And then we'll also have Shinobi. He will finish up 19th as he made an early exit to the race. So overall, it was a really, really action-filled 49 laps for this race. It was much closer than I ever expected it to be quite honest. Especially there at the end, GSR Roadrunner was able to make up a lot of positions, or a lot of position on track, I should say. While he only started third and he finished second, it was definitely a race that he'll be remembering. And if he was able to make that pass, it was going to be ultra competitive and very good for LRT Breeze, who unfortunately got into a mistake with VOR Marth very early in the race, which compounded that. He wasn't able to make all that ground up, but we'll definitely see what happens next week.
Right, so next week then is going to be, let's get back to that. That's going to be back to our normal 2-race format. So that's going to be Rio de Janeiro on November 15th. We'll back with our 20-minute super sprint and a super street race. Looks like the racing has just now finished. Guys, again, we really appreciate you guys watching this. We'll see you again in 1 week at Rio. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to head over to theultimateracingnetwork.com and get signed up for all news and information on this stuff. You can also join in these races. Even mid-season like this, you can join in. But guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.